All right, this is the event number 23. We're gonna go live. We click on go live twice. And all right, it's looking like we are live. Okay, let's see how many people we have. All right, I see Big Al is already in, and you already know what I was intending to ask. I was intending to ask, give me a reaction and emoji to make sure you can hear me. Is the sounds great? Is the sounds okay? Okay, I could see the reaction. Awesome. Okay, cool. So this is the event number 23. This is a LinkedIn audio event. The name of the event is From iSketch to AI Catch and 3D Revolution. Cool. My name is Sandro Baccio. I'm the host of this event, and with me also I have two invites. I have Brian and I will have Ren as well. But prior to jump on the presentation and all the cool stuff, let's pass the technical check, which I'm doing. So it looks like you can hear me. The second thing which I want to mention, this is an interaction discussion. On the bottom right, there is a hand over there. So people in the audience, you can see that. If you want to come with us here on the stage, we'd like to have your feedback. Click on that hand so I can bring you on the stage. Otherwise, I cannot be able to have somebody coming to the stage. And I will bring you here. And I have to mention that this is an event which I will record. So it's only audio, but because a lot of people, they ask me, time wise, some people are working, they cannot attend. So I will record this event. But in the same time, just to mention, tomorrow also it's a very cool event, the event number 36 for AICC, Artificial Intelligence for Content Creators. Please join us on that one as well. So those are the small introduction which I want to have. So again, I'm the host for this one. My name is Sandro Baccio, and with me I have Ren and Brian. Ren, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience? And after that, Brian.
Yes, I'm Ren Peak, and I'm a graphic designer. I've been in it since 1982. I've been in a long time. I've done just about everything within my field, and this whole AI has just been mind-blowing and totally awesome. It's like the best thing that's ever happened in my field for all the way back to the beginning. I just think it's amazing. I haven't done enough with it yet, in my opinion. I can't wait to roll up my sleeves and try some more new types of AI. I've been working in ChatGPT and Midjourney and going to school. Not full-time, but it's an immersion UX UI course that's really fills up my time outside of work. And so anyway, that's pretty much enough on me, I think.
Yeah, thanks. Really cool. I must mention also really cool people also using AI, great community. Really nice challenges. I also initiate the Green Challenge for architecture. I'm recommending people to come over there because tomorrow I'm trying to post the results. But yeah, we'll touch on that. And the second invite on the scene with me, it's Brian. Brian, would you like to say a few things about you, please?
Certainly. Thanks so much for having me come on today, Sandhu. This is really a fantastic audience. So quickly about me, I've had almost 3 decades in branding, marketing, and advertising. Big Al's got me beat, so good to see you there, Big Al. But I ran a branding marketing agency for 23 and a half years. After COVID, I decided to take a break from agency life for a little bit and began looking at some new things. And the new thing on the horizon was generative AI. With a background in teaching, I was an Adobe and Macromedia certified instructor for over a decade. That's kind of my passion, and it seems to be what I do every time as I learn things and turn around and teach other people. So as I started learning this thing, I decided to turn around and teach everybody behind me, focused on the creative professionals because they're the ones I relate to the most. So that's what I continue to try and do, is engage on a daily basis and help creative professionals learn how to leverage these tools for part of their creative workflows.
Super awesome. Well, I guess we can dive into the event for people which their first time to this event. Even if it's the event number 23rd. The event usually is structured in three parts. The first part will be a discussion on innovation. The second one will be a discussion on the news, obviously both related to the AI. And the third one will be the 3D revolution, as I'm calling, which I know we're on the gasp of it, it's happening right now. But we really like to touch on that as well, because that will kind of develop further with the use of AI as well. So that being said, for the first part, the innovation side, I was thinking, what will be usually a cool topic for introduction of the event. So this time I was thinking about prompt innovation, and that means in order to have something done with AI, obviously you have to have an interaction with the platform. And in most of the cases, obviously, it's a prompt. It's either text, or if you want to be a little bit more funny or faster to have the words written for you, you can use also a voice command. Just a reminder how to do that. If you use Windows, you just click on Control H and you can activate the voice command. First, of course, you need to have the command active, /imagine, and after that Control H, you click on Control H, and after that you just talk. Basically, the Windows system will just translate the voice, and this is how you can write the prompt. Similar, you can do it in Mac as well. You can use the mic session, but still it's a voice command. And this prompt innovation, I think it's interesting because as a topic, there are many ways of doing a prompt, and some people are doing prompts in a certain way, like me being an engineer as a trade, a civil engineer. I kind of have my mind structured in an engineering way, so I'm focused only on like 3-4 parts which I want to touch, and the wording is not as I'm speaking. It's not like a natural language. It will be more like keywords, and the results are coming as they are. But also on the prompt innovation, there are also options. Kind of you need to know how to do the prompt, in the sense that some words have more weight, so it's good to put them in the front. But I will ask also my invites what other innovative ways they are using AI, or stuff to learn, and we can touch on the prompt as well. So Ren, on your side, is what is your experience with that?
Well, I've tried a lot of different things. I have used Brian's books, so I have learned to do the weighting kind, where you put the double colons, or full colons rather, in and give it a weighting. I've done it intuitively, the way my mind works, because I'm a creative, and just whip out my sequence with pulling some of the things from Brian I've learned, like full HD and 8K and that type of thing. And I have done the describe, where you /describe and drop in a picture that you want, and then you get 4 options to pick from. That I've run them all usually to see which one will produce something that is the best. And I've used the area variation tools to change things that I don't like. And I've also used the beta in Photoshop to rearrange or redo things, and been really cool and helpful. And the other day when I did my Pandora trunk show series, I went to Chat and I asked Chat to write the prompt for me. I'd never done that before, and I'd been meaning to do it, and I got a really interesting result. I really think it was better than if I just done it my intuitive way. I start out a little conversational usually, and then I use my key phrases like expressive, creative, hyper photorealistic, and all of that type of stuff I tack on at the end. And I did an interesting experiment where I tried to get a peacock copper bed, and I said I want a copper bed in the style of a peacock, and I didn't get a single peacock. But when I switched it around and said, I picture me a peacock with a fan tail and make it in the style of a copper bed. Every single one of them came out a peacock bed. So that was kind of an interesting discovery for me. And I overcame my hurdle that way, just being counterintuitive.
Yeah, no, that definitely is interesting. And also another discussion which we can elaborate is, different platforms have obviously different kind of approaching the prompt. So, that will be interesting. I know a lot of people are using different platforms, and you can put the prompt on different platform and you can see the results are quite wild. So that is something interesting as well, which means the meaning of a prompt in one platform could be completely different as a meaning on another platform, could be more detailed, more wide, and so on. But that being said, I'm just curious, Brian, on your side, what are the innovative ways you have? And I know you have a lot.
I do. I will kind of try to keep it short and sweet. My approach is, the cool thing about prompting, of course, is that you're having a conversation. In my Prompt Fundamentals book, I broke it down into 12 things that I think are categories of communication you can have as far as part of your description. And it's just part of the descriptive language that we use in communication for kind of describing a prompt. So those 12 are your subject, your action, the setting or the environment it takes place, lighting, composition, style, angle or perspective, the time period, the medium, which is whether it's painting, photography, or whatever, the feeling that you're trying to evoke, the orientation, which is your aspect ratio, and then also knots or things that you don't want to include. So all of those kind of mixed together refine and create the prompt and the rendered results. And you're right, it depends on the platform you're engaging in as to the results that you're going to get. One prompt inside of Midjourney will totally show up different in SDXL or in variations of Leonard or whatever. But I think that's kind of figuring out the platform that you're engaging with to determine what you're going to get from it. So it's just a matter of jumping in and giving it a try. And you begin learning what strengths and weaknesses are with each of the platforms.
That's correct, and also, kind of makes the people to think also innovative way. If you see something work with a platform, you kind of follow that direction because you like the results. But when we switch to another kind of, you need to refine and adjust the prompt and word or maybe even the words. So that will be quite interesting to see. Also with us, we have Dr. Wana. We'd like to have your feedback as well. And welcome to the stage. Reminder to everybody, click on the hand and come with us here on stage.
Yes, I'm so glad to be here. Every time I come, I learn something. Because I have been also teaching prompt engineering, even though the engineers are taking to that title. But Brian's shared some very interesting methodologies, because we talk about the different types of prompts, different purposes. And just going off on a tangent for a bit, when you go to Hugging Face and they evaluate the models, right, they use a variety of tasks, whether it's translation or question answering or text generation, all these different things. So the models all have different things that they're optimized for. And so I have fun playing around with the models and going from ChatGPT to Bard to Bing and to Claude and all the others, and using the same prompt and seeing the different responses, because I do it mostly to kind of see if one model left out or overlooked something, kind of, so to be all inclusive. But that's probably my OCD kicking in. But the thing about prompting is that there are so many options, but we have to always remind everyone, the quality of your prompt is going to determine the quality of your input. Because I hear some people say, these models, they don't do something. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm thinking, because you're not prompting it properly. But, I don't say that, but it's all about, experimenting, playing around, trial and error, and seeing how it works out for you. Now, ChatGPT 4, which is, of course, the subscription version, they have a new it's not so much of a plugin, but an option where you can do prompt assist, and you can type in what you want and it will convert it into a prompt that's structured and efficient for you. And some of the other tools like Jasper and other writing tools also have an option to, you type in your prompt and you say, correct my prompt or optimize my prompt, and it will do that for you. But, it's all about you trying and finding your way around how best to work with the models. So.
That's correct. Actually, I'm happy you mentioned that because there are also other platforms which wraps, AI platforms. The example is with PicGen, and Mike explained how he do it. With the inclusion of ChatGPT, you can have also samples of the prompt. How you can do a prompt. It's actually helping out with an AI. And on top of that, just to make another small comparison, which kind of I'd like to mention, Ren talk about, you can have a picture and use the describe and you're going to have a sample prompt. But in the same time, when you have your own prompt, you can use the shorten option as well. And this is going to optimize the prompt, basically taking some of the fluff out. With Midjourney, with those, I think what is important, I didn't see too much on the other platform, it helps you to make a better prompt, but it's not explaining literally. You'll just see the properties, you see the stats, and you're going to see which words have to be more weight, and which one they were deleted and so on. And that is actually important because the dictionary is not the DEX. DEX is for humans, but when you are going on the AI, it's kind of slightly different. The words is more on the parameters, which the images, different references they have, and all the metadata which is have, and there is no DEX for that. But in the same time, different platforms, they try to help you out. I see that with Midjourney. Maybe others will be something similar, but it's something interesting. It's a different way of kind of being trained of how to do a good prompt. Of course, we can do it as Brian is doing. Give examples. People learn, and that is one way. But in the same time, I'm seeing the platforms developers, they kind of trying to train you, giving you the data. So therefore, reading the data is important as well. With us also we have Big Al. Thanks for coming to the stage, Big Al.
Good to be with you, Sandhu, and Brian, Ren, and Lynette. I have been working with two new programs this week. The first one, I was invited to do some beta testing on this new text-to-image program. And I posted about some of the results yesterday. I have more to post, but I put up this first thing. What was interesting about it was it took the prompts that I used with Midjourney and worked with them very well. The difference being that you have a choice of settings, so you can select a photo or you can select artistic, and then you can give it a style that you are interested in working in. And they have other ones that are, it looks like about 5 different ones there. They've got one that's realistic. They've got
the 3D, the anime, the photo.
Right now, those two are working.
Yep. There is also interesting.
So anyway, the other thing was that you could select portrait, landscape, or square formats. So that was what was available. So anyway, I'm just generally pleased with it. The second thing that I tried was Microsoft's Bing DALL-E 3. And what was interesting about that one, that one is supposed to be conversational prompting. And I thought what that meant was that you could, talk about what you want in a conversational way. But no, it's more than that. You're having a conversation with the bot as well. And so, for example, I wanted to do a picture of Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock Holmes. There was a TV series a while back with him and Lucy Liu as Watson, and I wanted to do a picture, and I had an idea of starting the thing with a Bobby finding a homeless man in a rainy night in a London back alley, and he's discovering that he's actually dead. Anyway, the thing is, the bot said to me, there's no episode of Sherlock Holmes that started that way. And so I said, well, I want to write a new Sherlock Holmes story. And it responded back, that sounds like fun. And started giving me hints of good ways of going about writing the story, and listing different things that would be appropriate for a Sherlock Holmes story and everything. I eventually was getting pictures also, and the best thing about it was I had tried to get Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock Holmes with Midjourney, and yes, I got him. He looks exactly like him, and everything was great there. But they did not understand the Sherlock Holmes Beefeater's hat, and they were giving me every other possibility, but not that type of hat. This DALL-E 3 with Bing gave me exactly the right kind of hat, including tying a little bow at the top of the hat and everything. It was in the right kind of fabrics and everything. Wonderful raindrops all over him and everything. I was very impressed, and I'm going to continue working on putting this Sherlock Holmes story together using that program, and I'll be posting that sometime in the near future. But very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing, probably you didn't touch it yet, but is the text capabilities as well. And also I tried the new platform which you talked earlier, and it's handling the text better than Midjourney handles the text. And DALL-E also is handling the text far more better too. So will be interesting. I think those comparisons are really cool because, right now we see the strength between different platforms, and obviously those platforms which they were leading the visual, like Midjourney, kind of, I like to see how they will react. Back 1 month ago, I said, yeah, it's going to be the version 5.3, never came out. So they are cooking something. I missed the out of office discussion the other day, but I'm just curious to know how they will react, because definitely right now the standard bar, it's a little bit higher, definitely they need to fix the text and responses from the prompt, the prompt response, and to be accurate to what the user is asking. I think that also needs some challenges on Midjourney side. Well, except if they want to keep the randomness, which is fine as well. The visual results are cool, but I think the portion of the control has to be addressed, form or another. And again, for people on the audience, just feel free to come with us here on stage. We'd like to have your feedback. In order to do that, you need to click on that right hand on the button so I can bring you to the stage. And that being said,
Sandhu,
go ahead. News.
Sandhu, in relationship to the office hours on Midjourney, I didn't attend this week, but last week I did. And the thing that I was really kind of shocked about was, we know that in July they were saying that V6 was coming out in August, and it's been delayed and delayed. And one of the things that the guy said was, well, there's going to be other programs that are always going to have capabilities that was just really surprised.
Well, yeah, that is interesting as feedback, but in the same time, maybe they get focused on something, like at one time when you become bigger, imagine it's like a pyramid, you come up and the base is wider and wider and wider, and maybe they want to focus on something and be really strong on particular direction, I guess. But yeah, I'm really curious. I'm really curious how Midjourney will have the next update. Could be 3D, could be on the video side as well. That means we know with AI is not only an image. That was only the first step. After that, we have videos. We have also 2.5, 3Ds. I'm almost sure there are ton of other options as well. And since we kind of touch on the news, there are also other stuff too. It's not the fact that you can do a general drawing. I do see kind of specialized AI, and what is also important to have AI customize it for the user. I think that will be the next big thing, because people, they don't want a general thing. They kind of, hey, I need this task. I want something really close to what I need. And, Viscom, they come with a really, really good update on their side. And if you are in the automotive, and actually even like me, in the industrial design option, because my background also includes architecture and industrial design. So their update, I really like it, because one, it's very focused on what actually you want to get. And the results from the updates with Viscom, they are really good. And then especially if you are on car industry, their results, they are very, very nice. And I hope they'll go toward that line, because it's responding to the client. Now the general ones, DALL-E 3, Midjourney, you can do pretty much everything with those. But that might buy back, because people, they don't want everything. They want something very specific. So I'm just curious, what do you guys you think about this? And I can continue with the other news on the 3D and other aspect as well. But it's open for the floor discussion, Big Al or Brian and Ren or Dr. Una. Feedback wise. Okay. That's fine. You guys, you can come. Go ahead.
I was trying to see if Brian would join in there first. The thing that I find interesting is, like our friend Michael, and there was a company in I'm trying to remember. It was in Amsterdam, I think, last week, that was talking with us at our session. And they are both companies that are having multiple programs on their site. So you've got one source shopping where you can go and work with these different things. And I think that might be an answer to what you're talking about, Sandhu, in terms of, okay, you go to a place like that, and then you can, try to do something in this one program, and then go to another one and do something else,
Yes, that's actually the trend. Will be multi-platforms. And Brian, feel free to join. That's what I'm saying. It's not only one software. That to me, it's clear. You're gonna have something to create the baseline, and after that, you create a video with another software, or you export it somewhere else and do 3Ds. But Brian, on your side, your feedback on this?
Yeah, I mean, for us in the creative community, from branding, marketing, advertising, whatever, we're used to the idea of multiple platforms that are specific to task. I work with Premiere and After Effects for video. I work with Illustrator, InDesign for graphics that can be used in video or could be used in print media. Photoshop kind of crosses the gamut, but all of them have specialized use and purpose. So I think in that same manner, we're going to really begin seeing more division across the platforms. Midjourney doesn't have to solve everything. They just have to figure out what specifically they're going to do and do really well, and then continue doing that. If I've used the same beta applications that a few of you guys have talked about, Big Al, you were mentioning earlier. And while it does really nice 4K renders, pretty thrilled with some of the output. There's still a lot of mistakes. It still doesn't have the hands nailed down. It still has some funny things happening in the details. So a tool like that's great to kind of get started with something, and then taking it to Adobe Photoshop and working with the generative fill. We just use all the tools where we can to get the results we're after. And I think this is one of the things that we're seeing with the creative community, where at first people were hyper focused on, I'm going to write this prompt that's going to give me 100% of exactly what I'm looking for. But I think I'm going to go back to what I said before on Midjourney is aptly named. It's the middle of the journey, not the final destination. So utilizing it as a tool in the process is a much better approach, and we begin thinking that way with all the other platforms as well.
Yeah, definitely, really cool feedback. On the news side, since you mentioned you create in 2D with AI something and you go somewhere else, my big passion, 3D. So yes, you can use AI, and there are software like Common Sense Machine, which will extract that information and can create a mesh for 3D assets basically. But there are also other stuff than 3D. 3D is a little bit more difficult to explain. It could be a point cloud, could be a variation of that mesh itself, obviously. But for instance, if we are talking toward that side, there are news on the scanning technology like Luma did with the Gaussian splat, and that is extremely important. So basically, in order to create something in 3D, actually you can use the existing reality assets. I even made some samples myself with another one, with Metascan. But basically, you scan around whatever object you want, architectural features or vehicles, or motorcycle, whatever, and that can be used to be mixed similar as AI is doing with the images, kind of mixing different stuff and creating something new. But you can do it directly in 3D, which I think that will be extremely cool. And with the upcoming metaverses and AR technology, augmented reality, and VR, virtual reality, I think that will be extremely cool to see the development. So other thing on the news, even on the game engine, I noticed that Unreal, they just have a fest. They have the Unreal Fest, but the CEO from that company, they said that they are open for licensing outside of the gaming industry, which means they predict other stuff was going to happen where the 3D environment is going to be used. Me in construction, I could see a bunch of them. I could see construction simulation, I can see planning, I could see augmented reality and basically know exactly where I need to put my beams or windows or door and so on. So we are at the verge to have something far more bigger than just nice images. Those will become reality faster than people think. So anyway, I just want to touch on that. With us also we have Mike. And Mike, thank you for coming, and maybe you can explain us more about PicGen and other innovative ways, probably DALL-E 3. So we'd like to have your feedback.
Hi, excuse me. Hi, Sandhu. Thanks for recognizing me and inviting me. Yes, we're working very hard on PicGen. We have a plugin for Canva coming out early next week. The work has been done. We're working with them to get our to get their approval to be in their app store. Basically, the idea is you go into Canva and you have a design open, or you want to create a new design, and you pick our app, and we take images that are generated in PicGen through your prompts in Canva, and you bring them right into your design. So we're very excited about that, and we think there's a nice connection with the Canva market, which is a little different than the folks that come on this forum and the Adobe people and the direct Midjourney people. So we work with Midjourney, with Stability XL, and with what do you call it? DALL-E 2. But we're also looking at DALL-E 3. I've put a lot of effort into trying to evaluate DALL-E 3. It's good in some areas. I've mostly used it through the Bing image creator plugin. I'm finding some problems that I'm kind of surprised about. The color is very inconsistent. If you give a general color to in your prompt, instead of applying that color to the objects in the prompt, so if you say pink and you have a car, and it's going to make in Midjourney and Stability, the car will come out pink. But in this new DALL-E 3, everything comes out pink. In fact, there's a pink filter. It seems as if there's a pink filter over the whole image. So I'm kind of disappointed with that. I don't know if they'll fix it or we have to be careful. So as soon as the API comes out, which I hope is the next week or two, we're going to plug it right into PicGen and you'll be able to work with the API. And then we hope to incorporate the aspects of DALL-E 3 that integrate with ChatGPT 4 and have something similar, but hopefully we can add some more value that's not in OpenAI's offering.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Simon.
Yeah, no, and also the option to have multi-platform. I was intending, we just talked at the beginning about the prompts, and
Sure.
I'm glad you mentioned about the ChatGPT. Did you have a little bit more testing to see with how ChatGPT prompt suggestions they are working?
Well, so far I haven't been able to get access. If anybody wants to lay me a ChatGPT invite that has this alpha, I missed it by a few minutes. I can't seem to get into it. I subscribe to.
Okay.
I'm sorry, who's talking?
No, we're listening. No, it's okay. Yeah, will be interesting because that's what I was intending to do some tests as well, but I don't have it either. So I was just curious on the feedback. Right. And again,
all right. So as soon as I get access, I'll certainly have a report for that because it's very interesting. The idea. I mean, to blow my own horn again. We've been doing this. We've been testing this idea of having chatbot enhance your prompt. We haven't done it in an interactive fashion yet, which is what I guess they're doing from looking at their marketing stuff. So I think it would be very interesting to put that into our offering and to make it very smart, to add some further intelligence. Because one of the things that they don't seem to deal with is style at all. And also,
that's true.
To do it in the other services. So it would be very cool to do something similar to this and then have the image generated by Midjourney. I mean, it doesn't necessarily, there's nothing stopping us from doing that.
Yeah, I posted in the comments, and again, whatever options we discuss here, and also please post a link to PicGen in the comments as well, so people can have it.
Sure.
But I posted another news over there. It's a new sample response kind of product. It's called Mix and Match, and what they did is they have various like 4 option images, and they show a bird with a certain color, but you can have the output either changing the color of the bird or either changing the bird in something else, like whatever, an animal, and basically you have more control of what to change and how the results are coming. So again, the name is Mix and Match. And I found that, when I was looking to that, I always find that extremely interesting because one is the control. So you back to what you said with Bing, getting pink all over. I noticed that as well. The control will be the next big thing, because AI by itself is extremely random, and I could see right now people are trying to say, hey, I want only this modified. That means I want only the car pink, not everything. Maintain the background with whatever they have before. And I think also will be interesting to see this mix match between the platforms, because we know, and we just talked about earlier, you do something with the platform, you create something with Midjourney saying, and after that parts and pieces of that you want to modify it. Of course, you can use Beta Photogen or even in Midjourney with the Vary region, but I think it's more than that. I think it's not only a pixel, I think it's a concept. Okay, the car, I want it a different style, or I want something in that car, I want a dog in that car, or something like that. So will be interesting to see how development it goes with AI, but I think right now AI is not as random as it was in the first days. I think a lot of more controls are coming on the pipe, and that will make it or break it. Yeah.
So another aspect that might be interesting. A friend of mine was suggesting this. If you can segment the image, I know Meta has a segmentation tool where they basically look at the image and find the basic elements of it. There's a person over here on the right, and there's a cow on the left, and so on and so forth. If you can segment it, and you can say, I want the cow on the left to be blue, that's a very powerful idea, but you really have to get the segmentation to synchronize with the image generation.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll
how
see.
long there's.
Yeah, we'll see.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll see. It's only at the image. Me, I think will be also in 3D something similar, far more powerful as well. Like you're gonna start creating directly in 3D, and you can do the reverse engineering after that, re-render, and you have the image. I'm seeing this looping kind of process in the future. With us also, we have Aline.
Sandu, I want to mention one thing quickly, because I don't know if this was what Brian or Michael was referring to, but the ChatGPT 4V that now going to recognize images and supposedly is designed to help blind people and other types of uses, but everyone is very concerned about the potential for it to be able to break the captcha on the websites, the annoying thing of identifying the bicycle. So I'm not in the image worlds, but I'm just curious if you have heard about that.
Well, that's been
Go
concern for a while, Una, that these image generations could break the captcha, because they can do this reverse image generation. They can look at something and then describe it. Even Midjourney has a describe feature. So, of course. But, I mean, I'm sure that the captcha folks are onto this, because this is how they make their money.
Yeah, that's what it's reaction to action and reaction, always like that. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting topic. Maybe we'll touch later on that. With us also on the scene, we have also Aline. Thank you for coming. We'd like to have your feedback as well. Please make sure you unmute.
Yeah. Hey, Sandu. Thanks for hosting this. So I'm operating in a bit of stealth mode, if you will. And the one thing I'll share is I'm building a digital community for job seekers in tech that were impacted by layoffs. And I'm doing this leveraging AI image generation. So I've appreciated the conversation that you all have surfaced today. I wanted to kind of mention that for me in this journey, I've had to pause myself and analyze the prompt results. And I appreciate Dr. Thiessen, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, share earlier about prompt engineering, and then just taking the time to be mindful of that, because it's so easy to get lost in the creativeness, right? And in the fun where you're just like next, but it's kind of important to pause and reflect on what's working, what's not, including with like some of the conversation that was just had around colors and how that goes into other elements of the design. The one thing though I wanted to come up and ask, since it seems like a lot of you are, generating for different use cases and, playing around with image, as I build this community, I'm being very mindful of different different interests, like perhaps a gaming lounge, a meditation lounge. And I'm kind of feeling a little vulnerable because when I launch, I'm like, okay, people are going to have full access to my creative mind, right? And all of the things that came to mind that might be of interest. Have any of you gone through that? Have you gone through like that vulnerable moment of like, okay, people are either going to think, wow, she's really creative, or wow, what the heck is she thinking about? So I wanted to just pose that question and see if anyone had thoughts. This is Aline, and I'm complete.
Yeah, thanks.
You're speaking for every one of us, I hear, I think, because we're all creatives and we have so many ideas and always concerned about not getting, but, I've defaulted to just releasing stuff, and whatever happens at this point, because trying to hold on to all of your ideas until you can, get some kind of ownership of it, it's almost not... it's not a viable option because the ideas just keep coming, so you just have to release them.
Yeah, we kind of talk about this on the on some older events. Joy also had a good idea. We can do NFTs. We can blockchain it. There are options, obviously, but being generated through a platform also can be easily traced back. So that is not gonna go away. That's the good news for everybody. But in the same time, obviously, I like to have the other opinion from the people either on the scene. Come with us here on the stage. And for the invites, and people on the stage, feel free to provide the feedback. And after that, I really want to touch on 3D a little bit. But definitely, I'm just curious, Big Al on your side, or Brian, or Ren? Okay, make sure you guys you unmute if you want to provide the feedback. But meanwhile, on the 3D side, I just want to mention also two kind of news. It's not really on 3D, it's mostly on 2.5. I even posted today a really interesting way of getting a mesh, kind of the feeling of having the 3D, because that is what I'm seeing coming far more stronger. Especially if you want to do videos and stuff like that, we can use CapCut, but I just intended to explain the process. And that is done with depth math. We can use a product call it LayupPix. This one is basically creating a depth math, and you have some controlling tools which it can create that feeling of having a 3D from an image which is done with AI. So that is something which I think is going to be more popular shortly, because that is a step closer toward the 3D. And the other thing, you can use also Zoe Depth if you want, but when you get this map, the depth map, you can create the mesh even in Blender, and after that using that for different assets. You can do 3D printing and so on, or metaverse. And I found that quite interesting. And again, back to Aline's question, how you gonna keep it? Because right now we talk about the images. You create something and kind of how that reflects my personality. But what about when that goes in 3D? Because it's even more complex. Because the arrangement of all those meshes will be really hard to kind of control and say, okay, that is done by that person or that person. That usually in 3D the assets are moving all around. So that's something quite interesting. And I'm just curious, from that aspect, how you guys use it. I mean, again, for people from the audience, feel free to raise the hand and come here with us on the stage. It's open floor.
Sandhu, one thing I was going to mention is you talked about depth maps. Photoshop does a really good job of creating depth maps that you can integrate into After Effects for those who have some proclivity in that space. There's also some really cool tools that can enhance that. I did it's been a couple months ago, but I explored a tool, and I can try to find that link and share it in the notes below. It's kind of a neat application that allows you to really do some cool things with 3D from a flat image, just working from the depth maps. And then the challenge of everything that we create, we all feel as creatives a sense of vulnerability in that space. But that's actually really cool, because this is the one thing we get to bring to the table is ourself. And so I recommend everybody, just share what you're thinking, share what you're doing, be vulnerable enough to open up. And it's part of the process. We're showing everybody else, hey, this is okay. We don't have all the answers nailed down. We're just going to put it out there and continue to grow. The thing is, when we lack curiosity is where we are no longer growing and moving. So I highly recommend staying curious and just keep putting it out there.
Yeah, no, that definitely, that's what and it's all positive. At the end, your personality, will be shown on those images, or images for AI, but in general for everything what you do, 3D images, video, and so on. That means that cannot be taken away. And the other thing which nobody can take it away, it's whatever you learn that's in your mind, again, that cannot be taken away. You need to exercise it, be more creative, do more stuff, because that is how we evolve. And AI is just a tool, and there are some aspects which still needs to be fine-tuned, but in general it's a positive thing. There are people which could not express themselves. Now with AI they can. There are people with disabilities. They cannot express themselves. Now they can. That means I can go on and on and on the positives, and they are always good. Obviously, somebody's going to come and spin it kind of, that can be done in a bad way. Yeah, of course. But if we train the AI to be good, it's going to be good. It's 101 logic, we should not fall on the other side. It's back to us, the trainer. It's like parents, you teach your kids to do good. It's same thing with AI. That's my my quick one on this, and I always say that it's back to the education. It doesn't same as you do it for humans, same will be in the future for robotics and the AI, the software, and so on. And talking about robotics, actually I posted some cool stuff too. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but robotics also is developing very fast. We do have Ameca, which they create a very humanoid-like robot. We do have Boston Dynamics application in construction, for instance, with the small Spike. It's like a dog robot. It's really cool. But also most of them, they have a lot of AI on it. Like those who could be a little bit independent way. But in the same time, they can identify, similar to what AI technology is doing, accessing from the databases and creating responses, doing stuff faster. I think that also is a pretty cool subject to discuss in the future, probably. Right now it's fine to stay on the topic of the prompts and 2D. I think that's fine. But I like what you said, Brian. I strongly suggest that, if you create something, though, share it with the world. People will learn it, and whatever you create will be reflected through your personality. That's my own thing, which I believe very strongly. Dr. Runa?
Yes, I agree so much, Sandhu. And by the way, the robot stuff is amazing. I don't understand any of it, but I see your posting and I'm just so thrilled. It's fascinating. But just again to Alvin, I want to encourage her to keep being creative and know that you are going to find your niche, your unique thing that nobody else can contribute, but that's only going to come from mass generation, mass creation. And that's what these tools are for. So.
And will not be only the new tools with AI, but because Brian kind of make a great point. This depth map is from 90s. It's 20, 30 years ago, which was invented. Come on, it came one of the first of Photoshop. So, but the applications, how you do it, you kind of need to tweak it. Everybody try to jump on the latest new, but there are good stuff which can last, a lot, like this depth map. I know I did it with SketchUp when SketchUp appeared back in 2000 and a little bit, 2004, 2005, when Google bought them. Actually, it was another company which invented SketchUp, if people doesn't know. but anyway, that's really, really interesting. So it's a good point. Regarding the education side with AI, I think there are also cool stuff coming on the pipe as well. A lot of people, they are using prompts, but kind of the education is not there. So I think in the future we're gonna see a structural way and a positive way of using AI. And I think that is going to come. Either it's going to come through the legislation or it's going to come, from common sense. But that's another thing which I think we're going to see changing with AI. Like we know there are some challenges with that. Go ahead.
That's what I'm involved in, and then I'm getting a lot more. People are reaching out more, especially administrators and those in making the decisions are wanting now to be educated so that they can guide the use of these tools as far as education and the students and others involved are concerned. And so it's really having an impact, and it's people like us, like this group and others who are keeping the discussion alive and open, that are causing this kind of growing awareness. So kudos to all of us, and yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks as well, and also helps with innovation, because again I posted some other cool stuff over there. I mean, smart shoes, for instance. Fashion also. It's a very cutting edge thing, because I'm seeing in the future the fashion integrating with AI, and it's unlimited. And you're gonna have tons of options. I posted one with some smart shoes, which they have over there, kinetic movement and charging batteries and cameras and scanning technology and so on. Those are really cool stuff. Plus, we just talk a little bit on the robotic stuff. The robots will not take people's job. Will take only what is really dangerous for people to do, but in the same time the humanity side of the displacement of the people toward other industry will be interesting, because we're gonna see people kind of focus on the creative side, and after that let the robots and the doing the stuff where there is physical risk in general. So a lot of people kind of say, oh my God, we have all this, but always will be a balance, and people will be creative. Machines are not creative at this point. They are just taking a prompt and searching and give you a response based on the database. The creativity still is human. In my opinion, it's going to be human for a long time. So, be creative. That's the most important thing, in my opinion, at least. So if you guys, I'm just curious. That'll be another interesting. How you are creative with all those AIs moving all around. Like you search it and you have new ideas. And just curious. And back to the people on the stage, or who's the people? Feel free to click on the hand and come to the stage. We still have 3 minutes.
Sandra, go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I was just going to say, one thing I've decided is there was a gap, and the gap is we're seeing some really cool stuff with generative AI, but learning how to implement this on a professional level was something I was seeing was lacking. And so I've launched what I call the AI Lab, with the idea it's a community, and it's a course where I'm going to work people that become part of this program through how to integrate generative AI into the creative workflows. And it's just kind of like all of us need to kind of step in and figure out how can we best utilize what we're doing, and then make this more ubiquitous part of our daily existence, so that it's a functional part of what we're doing. So that's kind of what my approach and what I'm offering to the community now.
Yeah, I'm doing something similar, Brian, that with my advertising agency clients, I've offered to give them a training session of like 2 1-hour sessions on how to use Midjourney and Photoshop 2024, The other thing I wanted to mention, Sandhu, when you're talking about fashion, Xander Sims is doing a lot of exploring of digital fashion, and I think what he's really interested in is being able to give people choices on what their avatars are wearing, and there's a lot of exploration being done of being able to create avatars that look like you, and I saw a thing recently where you could yourself to generate a 3D, avatar. There's a lot of I think the most
Yes.
interesting thing about our international global community on LinkedIn is the diversity of what people are doing with these programs.
Yeah, just to mention on the avatar, actually, I posted in the comments how to do it, and the platform which we can do it. But in the same time, I posted something also regarding the finance. If you want to boost your finance a little bit with AI, you can do that as well. That means there are lots of other applications. We kind of reached toward the end, but Sailesh just joined us. I really like Sailesh to have also his feedback. Thank you for joining us.
Yep. Thank you, guys. I just wanted to have your attention. Yesterday morning, means like in Indian time, obviously in the US it was like 4th. So there was a Federal Trade Commission. It conducted a very good session where there were a lot of industry eminent people were there regarding the same, and the topic was creative economy and generative AI. So it just conducted yesterday. Just type in Google creative economy and generative AI and FCT. So you will get an idea. Since I'm working in films mainly, and the concern over there in last previous talks also, and I am tagging Sandhu also, wherever there are some topics related to AI, because as an artist who is doing that. Organically, I should say the word organically. I don't mean any disrespect over here. Just wanted to tell you, without using AI, because there was a complete campaign against AI on our station. If you know that red logo with the AI ban. So see, technology will be here. Eventually, it's a market force. Nobody can stop it. The only issue they are saying, we are not against the AI. We are against the use of how it's going to implement, and that's where the entire SAG-AFTRA or even the WGA strike was there.
Yes.
So my point here, and other listeners are there. I'm just wanted to have, please watch that. It is on the Federal Trade Commission's website. Just type in creative economy and generative AI. And I think, Sandhu, I have tagged you on previous. There were a lot of sessions over on the same topic. Hope you can find it in my post. I'm referring to the other people over here.
No, it's fine.
Thank you for the platform.
It's a pleasure. Also, please put it in the comments of this event. That's how we do it, and people can come back.
Sure.
I'm almost sure will be a balance, like being at the beginning, people, they use it in a certain way, but in time, the balance will be fine, and again, I always said AI, it's a tool, but in the same time, should not be used to harm in any form or shape any person, and not even the computers, not even on the robot side. Nothing should be harmed out of AI. Should take only the positive side. So that's actually, it's a good point which you made. So I thank you for that.
Sandhu, quickly, one cheap plug for a poll that is on my page about what you think about AI and how generative AI and what it works. I'd really appreciate if some people would vote. Thanks.
Yes, and again, let's put it in the comments as well, so we can redirect people so we can find the post easily. Unfortunately, we reached to the end of this event number 23, which is fine. We're going to have an event number 24 next week. We're going to focus on the education. And the other thing which I want to mention, next day, tomorrow, Friday, with Big Al, we're going to have the event number 36, same time, noon Eastern. Join us over there. And again, the link is down in the comments of this event. So I really thank you very much for people in the audience. They were so kind to listen to our event. For people which came with me here on stage to my invites, I really thank you very much for having this good discussion, and looking forward for next week. Thank you.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
I'm posting the link over there. Bye.
Thank you.